Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cozy Chair. I'm so glad that you are here, and I hope that you had a fabulous Thanksgiving, having lots of yummy food and being with your family. And now I'm so excited because it's Christmas time, and I love Christmas time. I love Christmas songs and Christmas carols. I love Christmas blinking lights and Christmas trees, and I love to watch the snow fall. And if you live in a place where the snow falls, that's so fun. And even if you don't, you can still snuggle down and listen to a Christmas story. I love Christmas stories. I love silly Christmas stories and serious Christmas stories. And today I'm going to read you my very favorite brand new Christmas book. You've never seen this book before, I promise, because it's brand new this year. And it is called The Christmas That Changed Everything. This is by Karen J. Ashton, and it's illustrated by Elsbeth C. Young, who is a beautiful illustrator, and I just know you are going to love this book. And if you love it so much and you want a copy of it, then you can email me at thecozychairclub@gmail.com, and we can see if we can get a copy of this book shipped out to you. It's only $20, and all the proceeds go to Thanksgiving Point, which is a fabulous place for families with a children's museum and a dinosaur museum and a butterfly biosphere and wonderful things like that. So let's hear all about the Christmas that changed everything. I just know you're going to love this book. Okay. This says, "For my beloved parents who gave me everything that money cannot buy." Isn't that a great dedication? We're going to see what money cannot buy. This is a true story. So we are going to hear a true story today. Snow is softly falling on the cabin. Stars are twinkling over the mountain. It has been a perfect Christmas day. All the presents have been opened, all the carols have been sung, all the Christmas feast is cleared away, all the lights are dimmed, and the embers of the Yule log crackle and flicker in the darkness. All the grown-ups are sitting around the table retelling old stories, laughing and eating another piece of pie. All the little cousins lie fast asleep across endless beds, bunks, sofas, and cribs. All that is, except for Molly Joe, who cannot go to sleep. "Molly Joe," whispers Grammy, "let me tell you a story of a Christmas long, long ago. I think it will help you sleep." Oh, look how fun this is. I love this. "When I was just your age, my family and I lived in a teeny tiny house that looked like this to me. Do you see that happy little house? It's just like a little box, and it's smiling. It's such a happy place. My daddy was a telephone repairman. In terrible blizzards of snow, sleet, and driving rain, he would climb up telephone poles to fix the wires so others could call the doctor or an ambulance. My hero." Isn't that so sweet? There's her daddy. "My mommy was the general of the kitchen. She stirred big pots with her favorite wooden spoon and filled our tiny house with the most delicious smells. Daddy always said she made the best peasant food. Ham and bean soup, hearty stews with homemade bread, and cookies, hard and soft, but mostly hard. I was the oldest and always in charge, at least most of the time. Coralie was my little sister, my pretended twin, and my lookout when I was doing something I shouldn't. Little Kenny wasn't good for much of anything yet. Before he was born, Daddy asked Coralie and me if we would like a new baby brother or a TV. We said a TV. We got Kenny anyway. Our old dog Butch only had one eye. He had been in a fight with a cat when he was a puppy and lost his eye. He hated cats. So did I. My neighborhood was a magical place. Far down Avenue left the lighted streets of the city behind, crossed a small bridge, and then meandered slowly back and forth through tall cottonwood trees and old apple orchards that surrounded my little home. There were pioneer houses, new houses, tree houses, and even some haunted houses. There were fields, irrigation ditches, secret paths, barns, dogs, horses, and lots of old parents to help all the new parents. Summer was splendid. Each hot day melted like butter into a delicious summer evening. Do you live in a magical place like this? After dinner, children spilled out of their houses to play. No bears are out tonight. Kick the can, Red Rover, and hide and seek until the mothers called their children home. Have you ever played those backyard games? Oh, they are so fun. Summer was wonderful. Fall was time for school and Halloween. I loved Halloween. Look at all of them dressing up. But winter was the best because of snow and Christmas. Christmas changed everything that came near it. Sparkling Christmas trees stood in the front window of every home. Wreaths hung on all the doors. Strands of colored lights framed each home during the long winter nights. There was at least one snowman in front of every home, and sometimes a whole family of them. At night, from my window, I could see snowmen standing guard over their dark, silent fields of snow. If I opened our front door just a crack, I could smell the smoke from all the neighborhood fireplaces on the evening air. Even though it was bitterly cold outside, I was sure it was warm and cozy inside every home. Don't you love those snowmen? Look at those snowmen all standing outside, guarding their houses. Isn't that great? At Oakwood Elementary School, my first grade classroom was filled with handmade decorations. We made a gigantic paper chain, the longest ever made in the history of man, and it draped it all around the whole room. We made construction paper snowflakes and filled all the windows. We wrote letters to Santa and covered the entire classroom door with them, front and back. Every day after lunch, my class gathered around the old black piano and sang one of my favorite Christmas carols. Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon, now you dear old man. Whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. On the last day of school before Christmas, we made cards for our parents, ate cupcakes, and divvied up the Christmas decorations. Teacher said our parents would be thrilled with the additional decorations. I knew she was right. They were exquisite. Have you ever made those kind of snowflakes or a really long paper chain? Oh, it can be so fun to do that. As my friends and I walked home that day, snow fell silently and all was still, except for the occasional splashing of a passing car. Our arms were full of decorations and cards, while our thoughts were full of Christmas dreams and wishes. Those wishes bubbled up inside us like the bubble lights on my Christmas tree. Tommy wanted a new baseball and mitt. Linda wanted a pair of skates. Mikey wanted a big red fire engine with a long ladder and a new sled. But there was only one thing I wanted, only one thing I had asked for, a Tiny Tears doll. Look at this beautiful doll. Tiny Tears came in a beautiful pink box. She had thick, dark, curly hair that you could wash. She was dressed in a small pink jacket and diaper. Her eyes closed slowly as you rocked her. She came with a bottle, and when you fed her, she cried real tears and wet her diaper. Can you believe that doll? She was just like her real baby. I wanted her so very much. Merry Christmas, my friends and I shouted to each other as we parted. I could smell newly baked cookies even before I got to my front door. I dropped my Christmas load onto the floor and rushed into the kitchen to have a bite. With a half-eaten cookie in my hand, I called, "Mommy!" But she didn't answer. I quietly stepped into my parents' bedroom. There were snippets of fabric all over the floor next to Mommy's sewing machine and pieces of wrapping paper on the bed. I knew I wasn't supposed to be in my mother's bedroom, especially this close to Christmas. As I turned to leave, I saw something on the floor of the closet that stopped my breath. It was a doll, an old, dirty, beat-up, naked Tiny Tears doll. Somehow, deep inside of me, I knew it was my Christmas doll. I was horrified. As I stared at that ugly doll, my head filled with questions. Why was I getting an old doll? A doll with dirt in her hair. A used doll. A doll with no pink box or bottle. A doll with missing eyelashes, scuffed up cheeks, and no clothes, not even a diaper. I was stunned. We must be poor. I didn't know we were poor. As these thoughts raced through my head, I heard our old car pull up the gravel drive. I stepped out of the bedroom into the kitchen and forced a smile onto my face. As my family came through the back door, Daddy laughed. Well, tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Are you excited? I wasn't. We're going to spend all day tomorrow wrapping presents and baking more cookies, said Mommy. It will be the best Christmas ever. I knew it wouldn't be. How could Mommy and Daddy be so happy when we were so poor? Now that I thought about it, we had the smallest house in the neighborhood. We had the oldest car. Our clothes were always hand-me-downs. And our dog had only one eye. Isn't that silly? As I lay in bed that night, tears silently streaked onto my pillow. All my Christmas wishes would not come true. That ugly, dirty doll haunted my dreams. The very next day was Christmas Eve. Mommy made raisin-filled Christmas cookies, my favorite. They completely covered our little kitchen table. Daddy laughed and said, "There's not so much as an inch left to eat on." We all laughed, but just then into my mind came the image of that doll, and I couldn't laugh anymore. Daddy and I went outside and built the tallest snowman in the universe. We even needed a ladder to put his hat on. Mommy brought out mugs of hot chocolate. We stirred them with a candy cane, and then we ate the candy cane. When the Christmas Eve stars began to twinkle, we stomped the snow off our boots and sang our way into the house. Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Daddy's voice shouted over the top of everyone else, "Christmas Eve is here right now! Now, you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can." I stopped. I knew that dear old man would not be bringing me what I had wished for. In my mind, I saw the doll on the floor of the closet again. I shook my head to get rid of the picture. The lights from our tree filled our little living room with a soft glow. We didn't have a fireplace where we could hang our stockings, but Daddy said it didn't matter and that we should each choose one of his longest work stockings and place it under the tree. So we did. As Daddy tucked me in that night, he said, "I hope you have the best Christmas ever." As I lay in bed, I knew something had changed. The old idea of what Christmas should be was broken inside of me. There was an aching in my chest. An idea both beautiful and important was growing inside of me, pushing its way into my heart and mind. It was so much bigger than a doll. It was about Daddy and Mommy, Coralie and Kenny, our little house and everything warm and happy inside. I knew Daddy and Mommy wanted to give me the doll in the pretty pink box, but they couldn't. I knew that made them sad. I never wanted them to be sad. The ache in my heart was now in my throat. I loved my parents. I wanted them to have the best Christmas ever, but I had nothing to wrap and put under the tree. I made a plan. I would be brave. I would be grateful. I would be happy for whatever was under the Christmas tree, no matter what. What do you think of her plan? Is that a very good plan? I think it is. The next morning, I awoke to the sound of Daddy's voice. "Rise and shine, it's Christmas time," he bellowed. I slid over the side of the top bunk and landed momentarily on Coralie. Daddy picked Kenny out of his crib and steadied him on the floor. "Let's go see what's under the tree," Daddy chuckled. Coralie and Kenny squealed as they ran into the living room. I steeled myself against the disappointment I knew was coming. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with all the courage and love that I had. Under the glowing boughs of our Christmas tree lay a doll, a wonderful, clean, and shiny Tiny Tears doll. She was wearing a beautiful white lacy nightgown. I knew it was the doll I had seen in the closet because she was still missing her eyelashes. But now her hair was clean and curled around her little face. Her cheeks were rosy again. There was a little wooden bed painted pink, and in it there were tiny dresses, overalls, shirts, jackets, and pants. She even had a soft flannel quilt to keep her warm. And a bottle. A bottle! Look at all those beautiful clothes. Can you believe that? The doll in the pink box didn't have all of those. The breath that I had been holding went right out of me. I dropped to my knees and took her in my arms. She was the most beautiful doll in the whole wide world. Someone had lovingly worked magic. She was better than the doll in the pink box. She had clothes and a bed and a bottle, and it was all just for me. I looked up through my tears at Mommy and Daddy. They smiled back. That beautiful ache was coming back again. I wrapped my quilt around my new baby doll, climbed up next to my mommy, and snuggled into her arms. That Christmas changed everything. As Grammy finished her story, Molly Jo smiled and slipped into sleep. The end! What did you think about that story? Did you love it so much? I just hope that you loved that true story and that you learned that Christmas is about being with the people that you love the most, your mommy and your daddy, and being nice and warm inside. I hope that you liked that story. And if you are interested in buying a copy of this book, you can email me at thecozychairclub@gmail.com. And it's only $20, and that money goes straight to Thanksgiving Point Institute. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you will come back, because next time here on The Cozy Chair, we are going to read The Remember Tree. This is a new book from Stephanie Hull, and you'll remember Stephanie Hull. She's the one that's helped us with all the ABC books. So come back, and next week we will read The Remember Tree. Merry Christmas and have a wonderful Christmas season. If you're looking for other Christmas books, you can go onto my Christmas playlist, and I have lots and lots of books on there. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.